Starting it. Hi, this is Derek Packard coming to you from Men for Nations Prayer Embassy in Washington, D.C., 117 2nd Street. We hope you come and visit and pray here on the Hill with Dick Simmons. Dick, today's Monday. We've got about 21 days till the election. What are you sensing?
Well, basically, what we have to realize is we don't get the majority in the Senate, we're going to be logjam as usual. And we're not going to be able to move our legislation through, even if we get the presidency and keep the House. So this is as critical as the presidency. And the focus of everyone is on the president's race, whereas these senatorial races are just as important. Now, we've had a lot of help here because Jim DeMint from South Carolina has helped us by getting together the most conservative and the most Christian senators in a group called the Tea Party Caucus.
The Tea Party Caucus.
And then they've put together with some of the other conservative senators what they call a Senate Conservative Fund, and they're supporting basically 10, actually 9 here that they say are critical that we have to get. And I just share them with you, and this is available if you go online on our site. We have them there for you. Yeah.
So these are 9 critical Senate races across the country, 9 states, 2 senators, obviously, in each state, for those of you that don't remember from high school civics class. But in other words, if we can tip the balance of the Senate, win the presidency, still remain the House, and you have all 3 seats, you can actually, all 3 branches of government, you can actually get something done in terms of moving legislation forward. And if you don't, as we've seen in the recent years, it's just a stalemate.
Yeah, if you don't have the majority, basically you don't have control of any of the committees, because the majority, the senior in the majority party then becomes the chairman of the strategic committees, like the judiciary and others. And for example, you won't get if you have a president that puts in a pro-life nominee for the Supreme Court, he'll be blocked if we don't have a majority on the Judiciary Committee.
Well, there you go. Just that reason alone.
Okay, well, just to give you an example of what we've got going for us, we have Ted Cruz from Texas, who's probably he's been the Solicitor General of the state of Texas. He's tried 40 cases before the Supreme Court on their behalf in pro-life, freedom of choice and school vouchers and all of these things. He's just been a champion, and he's Latino, and he's been rated by the National Review, and the law groups have all rated him as tops. And if he gets in, he can be a real help.
Very powerful advocate.
And advocate, especially on strategic legislation that hopefully will stand up on the Supreme Court.
I heard that he's way ahead. He's probably going to win. I don't think that was even going to be close.
Okay.
But we still need to pray for him. All these senators really need a group of men in their state that are committed to praying for him.
Now, a difficult one's going to be, we were just over there at the office, but the Democrat in Pennsylvania, these are strategic. Like Ohio Texas and Ohio are strategic states. Mm-hmm. They say we've never got a president in that hasn't won Ohio and Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania, there's a supposedly a pro-life Democrat in there now, Casey, a senator, and his seat is up right now. And the gentleman that's running against is Tom Smith. And that would give us, again, a position there of not just a fiscal conservative, but it would be a pro-life and a very social conservative.
Now, Casey was not pro-life, right?
He is pro-life. His father was a pro-life Democrat that was governor for a while. He was governor, first of all, in Pennsylvania, then as senator. They didn't allow him to speak at the Democratic convention because he wouldn't put on a pro-life person. And now his son won because of his father's. So this is a difficult race. But on the other hand, Senate, conservative Senate group have felt that it's important that we get this in order to get a strong conservative vote.
Mhm.
in
So
the
Casey
Republican vote.
in Pennsylvania.
So it's Tom, it's not Casey, it's Casey's the one he's
Casey,
trying
the one.
Tom Smith is the one he's trying to bring in. So
Tom Smith is the one running. We're talking about Jim DeMint's guys that he's supporting.
Yeah.
Jim DeMint is kind of the Tea Party caucus Senate group, which is a rising group in the Senate, which the old guys do not like because it's a bunch of conservatives who have
Lugar, for example, was taken out. He was a very strong Republican, but a moderate Republican. He was taken out by a stronger conservative because of this group's influence. The core of them is known as the Tea Party caucus, like Rubio and Lee and Ryan and these. So anyhow, they're recommending these, and these are what we're saying you should look at and be praying for, because some of them are very tight races.
So that's Tom Smith against Casey in Pennsylvania.
And Virginia's another key state race, and it's Warren's there. George Allen is trying to come back in. He was senator before, and before that he was governor, and he's coming against King, who has been governor of the state of Virginia. So it's a tight race, and right now the polls show him down a bit, but he's a godly man, and he's a fighter, and he's got a lot of experience. And we need him.
So George Allen in
Virginia. And then they're recommending another one is Josh Mandel. They say no president has ever got it without winning Ohio. And there's a young man, Josh Mandel, running in the state of Ohio, and he's running against Senator Brown, the Democrat. And again, the Senate races are very much tied to the presidential race because of Romney's success in his debate. It's looking up, and he's coming up. He was 17 points behind in the polls just a couple of weeks ago. He's now about 4 points behind. But if we don't get Ohio, we may not get the Senate. So we need to say, God, undertake on our behalf. And we're not doing this just for ourselves. We're doing it for the unborn and the born. We're doing it that the name of God would once again be considered the founding father of our nation, and would be honored, and his laws would take precedence over our laws.
Amen. Well, that's enough races for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another update, and Dick will go into a little more detail. The plan is that for the next 21 days up through the election that we'll be doing these daily updates to keep people informed and motivated about what's happening here on Capitol Hill.
And what's important is that you get online and get others to come on. And again, all we're trying to do is get groups of men across the nation in agreement. And he said, if 2 or 3 of you can agree, you'll have power to bind on earth or is bound in heaven, and what is bound on earth, and then you'll be able to loose. And we want to bind that which is hindering and frustrating the purposes of God, and we want to loose the witness of Jesus Christ and the of righteousness and justice in our nation.
There'll be a conference call, or no? We're going to be doing a phone conference call.
We could.
Yeah. So that number is a standard Men for Nations phone number, which is on the website. Men for Nations.
Of course, the question I've got is, are we going to? How do you tie this with a conference call?
Well, information will be in the description. See you guys tomorrow.